Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling. Welcome to the channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, email info@lindycowling.co.uk. Title of the short video today is Several Signs That Your Soul Connection is Thinking About You. Several signs that your soul connection is thinking about you. Why am I bringing this out? Because it is one of the most commonly asked questions I get asked during a session with someone. Is my connection thinking about me? Are they thinking about me? What are they thinking about me? How are they feeling about me? So I've done this again in the form of bullet points, but also it's not going to be as plain sailing as that, because with each bullet point I'm going to bring the balance into it and do a flip side to it as well. So several signs that a soul connection is thinking about you, and I'm going to reel off each bullet point and then I'm going to do a balanced perspective on it as well. Number one, they are on your mind constantly and you are obsessively thinking about them. Yes, that can be a sign that they are constantly thinking about you, and the same is happening for them. But also, what I'm going to say from a balanced perspective is you do have to look at your own thought process here and your own behavior on this. So it's almost like a runaway train. It's almost like taking an element of control over your own thoughts here, because it can be like a runaway train, a slippery slope where thinking about them a lot becomes obsessive. So yes, it can be a sign that they're thinking about you a lot. You're constantly on their mind, so they keep popping in your head because of the energy and because of the connection, etc., etc. But you do need to have a look at your own thoughts, and you do need to try not to be like a runaway train on this. Also, you need to look at in your family or in you, are you a kind of a manic depressive personality? Do you have borderline personality disorder? Do you have OCD, or do you have tendencies like this anyway? Are they kind of your thought patterns, or is that there's a history in the family or a history in you? Why I say that, because connections like this can exacerbate those tendencies in you, but also if you have those tendencies anyway, it can be worse, more heightened. So if you have a very addictive like personality, it can go very obsessively. So I'm going to clarify what I'm saying here again. Several signs that a soul connection may be thinking about you. On your mind constantly, yes, that can be true because of the energetic connection, etc., etc. And you could be feeling that. You could be feeling that you're being thought about, etc., etc., and you can feel it keeps coming in your head. But also you need to be balanced about this, and basically so that your life doesn't become misery, you need to have some control and faculties over your own thoughts, some way of bringing yourself into balance, not fighting against your own thoughts, not wrestling with it, because that kind of makes it worse. It's like telling someone, don't think about pink pigs, and then they're going to think about pink pigs all the time. Don't fight against it, but at the same time, if you keep going down that route, just try and balance it with other things. Don't fight against your own thoughts, because then you're going round and round in a circle. But don't fuel that feed the fire or pour fuel on the fire there to just keep that cycle going and going. So yes, it can be a sign that they're thinking about you, but it can also be a sign that you know, or you might already know that you have certain tendencies within you anyway along those lines, like BDP, borderline personality disorder, etc., etc. Any issues like that can exacerbate it. So again, it's all about balance there, and you've got to be discerning, but that can be one of the signs, you know. Also, what I would say is if you are obsessively thinking about them, they can pick that up their end of the seesaw. So that's having an effect on them, and then that makes them think more about you, and vice versa. You know, it's a knock-on effect here. 2, they are in your dream time, in your dream state, in your dreams regularly, and there is interaction. When I say interaction, usually these dreams aren't really connected with the past with them, but they are present time. So what we call real time, dream time. So you are having present day interactions with them in your dreams, which shows again that the energetic connection is there, or you're thinking about them a lot, or they're thinking about you, etc., etc. You're going about your everyday business, your everyday life. You could be having a conversation with someone, you could be at work, you could be in any social situation, any situation at all, and then suddenly, totally out of nowhere, out of left field, your connection comes into your mind just from nowhere, and you're kind of like flooded with it. And that's, again, could be showing that they're thinking about you, or they're in an energetic setting, and they've thought about you. It's almost like calling on you and pulling on your energy in a way. And that can be a sign, especially if it comes out of left field and you weren't even thinking about them at all. 4, makes me smile, this one. Social media, those memes and those little notices that come up, you know, those philosophical ones that are having a direct nudge or direct kick, or you know, very much directed in your direction, and you just have a very strong feeling that is definitely meant for me. I know that's meant for me. I know where that's coming from, or a particular picture they put up and you know it's meant for you. Again, if we take that perspective, yes, that can be a very deliberate, and sometimes even a non-deliberate, subconscious way of them revealing, you know, intentionally or non-intentionally, that they're thinking about you. But also, to bring balance in here, you can also kind of misread some of these signs and think something completely really random is being put up there and it's not for you at all. So just trying to bring some balance into it so that you don't take these points as, yes, that's it, you know, that's definitely it, because you have to have some balance in here, and you have to be discerning about your own behavior and your own thoughts. 5, hot and cold antics. So 1 minute they're fine, the next minute they're not fine. 1 minute they're communicating, the next minute they're not. Sometimes that is to suppress how they really feel, but sometimes it's because they're confused about how they really feel, or they're being triggered, or there's a lot of projection going on, a lot of stuff. Also, I'm going to by bringing balance into it, I'm also going to say that you can have those characteristics with someone that is a sociopath, psychopath, or a narcissist. So I have to bring that into it here as well. You can have those hot, cold, keeping you on a fish hook thing with those personality characteristics as well. So again, it's all about balance and being discerning, but some of those behaviors, feeling really connected to you and then just going totally ice cold on you, can come with psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, but it can also come with trying to suppress how they really feel. And I have to bring another aspect on this in as well. This is why I'm being very level-headed and balanced here. You could also convince yourself that someone who's acting like that towards you has a connection to you and they don't, or you could convince yourself that they're behaving like that because really they're in love with you, when in fact you're being delusional, and in fact they're actually not interested, or they're interested in you for a booty call. I know that sounds harsh and blunt, but I'm just trying to be realistic and balanced and you know, straight talking on this as well. And number 6, asking about you through friends, family, work colleagues, or checking on your social media, checking on your status, using aliases, etc., or other people to check for them. Now, this happens as well, and again, to bring balance into this, what you need to be careful of here is that you or them doesn't get a bit stalkerish. I have seen that in the past, and I've seen that in people that I work with, clients, and I've heard about it coming from them, their end of the seesaw, and it's been done to them from the other end of the seesaw. I've also been on the receiving end in the past of behaviour like that, so I know what I'm talking about. So you do need to have to be a little bit careful that you're not really basically acting like a stalker, and that it's not getting out of hand and they are. Again, if any of this situation, the things I'm talking about here, is out of balance or out of whack, you need to be very discerning and tread sensibly, tread with balance here. So I'm just going to zoom through these again because it's a very short video. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. Signs that a soul connection of yours or a soul connection may be thinking about you. Why have I brought this out? It's one of the most common questions I get asked. Before I launch into it again, check in your own family background and within you that you don't have, for example, OCD, borderline personality disorder, manic depression, bipolar, any of these kind of umbrella things, which can be exacerbated with a powerful soul connection. But it's almost like a runaway train. You can, when you connect with someone like this way, easily loop into that. Why? How do I know this? Because I went through it, all sides of the fence, apart from working professionally and personally, which is what this channel is all about. I don't talk about anything I haven't been through professionally or personally with people. So number one, they are on your mind constantly. Yes, it could be that they are thinking about you 24/7 or a lot of the time, in a way like calling you, intentionally or unintentionally with their energy. People can do it with intent, benevolently or malevolently, or they couldn't do it just subconsciously. They're talking about you, they're thinking about you a lot, they're missing you, etc. But also watch for the fact that you're not getting obsessively about it, and are they on your mind all the time because you're obsessing about them? And then you could say to me, yeah, I am obsessing about them, but I can't stop obsessing about them. Then you need to have a look at why and what's going on underneath it all. And if you need to get professional assistance or support for that, you know, and it's something that you can't process through your own, then please do so. Number two, they are in your dreams, dream time, dream state regularly, on a regular basis, and it is in present time, current time, interaction, like working through things. It's in the here and now. It's not an event you had with them in the past. It's present time. Again, that shows that there's energy running between you. There's interaction between you. One or both of you are thinking about each other regularly. Three, suddenly you're doing something quite ordinary. I mean, you might be in the restroom, you might be in the store, you might be with a partner of yours, you might be with friends, and might be on holiday, etc. So you're doing something completely ordinary, not thinking about them at all. Suddenly, wham, out of left field, not just a gradual thing, but out of left field, they come very strongly into your mind, your senses, your thoughts, your feelings. Almost like you think, well, has something happened to them, or what's the matter, or they seem to be like calling me, etc., etc. Yes, that's quite, that sign is I would say in some ways one of the most clear and the most genuine. But again, as with all these signs, just be discerning, look to your own behavior, your own thoughts as well, because sometimes it can be you. But that one's quite an easy one to identify. That's more clear cut, that one. 4, social media, little signs, telltale signs, photographs they put up, little messages, memes, all kind of things, pictures, text, all kinds of stuff, where you know darn well it's for you because it's something you've been discussing, or you can feel it, sense it in every sense of the word. Yeah, that is absolutely true. I've experienced all of those things as well and seen it in clients, but also be discerning and make sure you're not almost like looking for signs, you know, to fit what you want it to fit. 5, hot and cold antics, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, all over you, they're not over you, contacting you, not contacting you. some of it can be like they're jamming their own feelings, or they're afraid, but they want to dip their toe in the water, but they're very afraid to because of what it brings up for them and within the soul. Also, again, a word of warning and balance. You can have characteristics like that in sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists. So be aware and be balanced and be discerning about all those things. And lastly, number 6, asking about you, checking up on you via work colleagues, friends, via social networking, via the myriad of ways that people can check up on each other in these ways and days, and even using false names and aliases and things. Be, again, balanced, discerning about your behaviour and also monitoring their behaviour. Is it getting stalker-like by you or them? And if you feel it is, then you need to take, the appropriate steps there. Anyway, I hope you found that kind of a little bit interesting, a bit of fun. It's not really heavy duty. It's just bop, 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 putting it out here because it is an extremely common question I get asked. Obviously, when I'm in session with someone and they're asking me this, I'm reading energy. I'm not just boshing this off. So for every situation and every connection people have, I'm reading energy. So I will be looking into what they're asking me at the time and reading the energy appropriately at the time. What I would say is if you are someone that is, let's say, use that word again, constantly worrying over, obsessing over if someone's thinking about you, again, you need to turn that back, look at you and say, why? Why am I getting myself in a real state about wondering if they think about me? And then you could say to me, well, Lindy, because I love them and I want to be with them. Well, obsessing about them and getting yourself in a tangle there like a rag doll in the washing machine is not going to speed that process up. If anything, it's going to lead you down the path of suffering and mental health issues if you're not careful, or post-traumatic stress disorder, etc., etc. You need to look at why you are manically obsessing and what's behind it, and if you need support from anyone, you go get that support. Because like I say, what you're doing is whatever you're involved in there, if you start getting yourself tangled up, like a rabbit in the barbed wire, you're going to slow the process down, you're going to slow things down, you're going to get yourself into a tangle, you're going to get yourself distressed. You need to look at your end of the seesaw, not just keep focusing on them, and ask yourself why you are so hung up on whether they're thinking about you or not. Apart from the bulk standard answer, well, I love them and I want to know that they're thinking about me, or you've been hurt by them and you want to know if they're suffering as well. That's a really common one. This bastard has done me over. I want to know if they're really suffering as well, or if they're even thinking about me. You need to look at why those kind of issues within you. If I'm doing it, let's call it a reading or a session with you on this side of things, I can give you answers on that to a degree in the individual session at the time, but you still need to look at why it's so important to you and what's behind it. I'm not saying it's wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying in order to move forward, you need to look at why your behaviour in this and your thought patterns in this. Anyway, on that note, short and sweet, I will love you and leave you as always. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for resonating. Thank you for the support that you give me and the channel. As always, as you've always done and continue to do so. Loads of love to you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll love you and leave you. See you soon. Bye.